Hello, this is J.N.S, and today we are continuing with the Divine Feminine series. We are on part 3. And so today we will talk about the difference between the femininity movement and the divine feminine, because there are some big differences. And if you are new to the channel, please check out part 1 and part 2 of the Divine Feminine series, as well as all of the videos on my channel, to get a sense of what I talk about. And we're dealing with the Black woman, we're dealing with the divine feminine in the age of Aquarius. And so I really want to hone in on some key components that we need to know as women in terms of these differences between the femininity movement and the divine feminine. So we'll just get straight into it. And so for one, let's just unpack this idea of the divine feminine age. Okay, so what are we charged with as women in this age? Well, for one, we are charged with knowing our own esoteric teachings. And the biggest one for the melanated woman is alchemy. Okay? And so in the divine feminine, we focused on those alchemical transmutations and transformations within, because what has happened for the last 2,000 years is quite frank. We've been under a slumber. We've been under a spell. The woman has been bamboozled. She has been hoodwinked on knowledge of her power, knowledge of her history, and knowledge of herself, knowledge of her spirit. And so in the age of the divine feminine, we absolutely have to bring back our ancient teachings, the ancient teachings of the priestesses, which would be the sibyls and the oracles. But we also always taught the other women this knowledge of alchemy. And so that is one of the major differences between the divine feminine and the femininity movement. The femininity movement, and I'm not knocking it, I think it is necessary. It's a bit, I won't say skewed, but it's different in the sense of where the focus is more on the exterior and the external, and things within the system, things that are more, I want to say shallow, because it's not the right word, because I don't want to discredit that movement or anybody pushing femininity, but it doesn't really get into the deep but inner work that we as women need to do. It also still placates to the male ego. The femininity movement, it operates from the point of view that Black women are not feminine, or women are not feminine, and that they're in need of being taught how to be feminine. And that it can be very triggering when there is no follow-up material regarding the soul, the ego, and the deeper essence of the divine feminine. And so that's why you see many of the women, they may have it going on the outside. Even the women that push the femininity movement, they look good on the outside, and then they like to be a fucking wreck. Because they're not doing deep gut work. And so even in the process of doing that deep gut work, you can still be mess, but it's at least that self-awareness. You still at that stage of it, at least you have this self-awareness that there's still work to be done, constant work to be done. And you're honest about it, and you live in your truth in that regard. And so you're not trying to put this band-aid, or just put something to cover it up. Or to distract yourself from that deep work, from that deep learning, from that great work. And so that is one of the major differences between the divine feminine and the femininity movement. Now, when it comes to unpacking this idea of what it means to be feminine, melanated women need to know in particularly that it's going to just be different for them. Everything that they've been taught about this Western system, about society, they would literally have to do a brain dump of all that garbage. Okay? And so to really understand that everything that we need as women is already inside of us. There may be things that need to be uncovered. You may have things that are latent. And so what I mean by latent is things that can be dormant and within. But the Black woman is inherently feminine. She's the prototype. She's a prototype of what would be anything that you could imagine feminine, that she would fit that in exact. And so what we are in a hegemonic system where that has been degraded, that has been reduced, that has been debased. People have been harnessing the energy of the black woman through that degradation, through that debasement. And that's what's been happening. So you see the propaganda of the black woman, the angry black woman, the sassy black woman, the mammy, all of these archetypes to program the black woman into a certain silos of consciousness, of self-doubt, of not feeling worthy, of feeling less than. This is all programming. This is all part of the matrix. And so she has to literally throw all of that out of the window if she even wants to get in tune with the frequency of the divine feminine, which is the primordial mother, which is that, I don't want to, talk over anybody's head, but which is that melanin cosmic energy, that the birthing waters of solar systems, galaxies, humanity, other extraterrestrial, whatever, that energy is naturally inside of her. But when you got a whole propaganda matrix coming at you, you're ugly, you're this, you're beneath these women, you're not like the spicy Latina, you the black woman, and you got your own sons acting a goddamn fool, running around here just damaging your image worldwide on the world stage. Every chance they get degrading you in the music. You a bitch, you a hoe, you a this, you skeeted, you this, you the baby mamas and this, and we go all there with what they do with the single mother, that Masonic stuff that they do with that. And so it's deep. And so now you have two emerging perspectives: the divine feminine, age of divine feminine. You have the femininity movement, and they have some divergences. And that's why, with me being a proponent of the divine feminine, I'm not going to come at the femininity movement like, oh my gosh, because I do think that women need that self-care and that beauty and to feel sexy, to feel amazing, to know that they are the bomb, and to work on themselves and improve. Like I have followed women that talk about the level up, that talk about, getting in shape, that talk about living your best life, focusing on yourself, getting your hair fixed, getting your makeup, so I'm with it, so that's not, don't think that this is to try to, you guys are da-da-da-da. No. In addition, I'm just saying to supplement your quest for that. If you're one of the young baby girls, especially, that's into that femininity movement, while you're learning about hygiene and hair and skincare and beauty and males and dating and whatever, and a luxury life, supplement it with that divine feminine teachings. Okay, go deep into that soul energy. Go deep into that prime conscious of the higher self. Make sure you supplement it, because the melanated woman in general are very intuitive, very naturally spiritual, walking portals of interdimensions, of creativity, of birth and abundance, of rebirth, even of death too, for those who know about some of the more shadow hidden aspects of the divine feminine. And so what I want to do first and foremost is, again, talk about those differences, but not in a way to bash, and so that needs to be stated out in the open. And so with the age of the divine feminine, we focus on alchemy of the soul, alchemy of the mind, and so why is that? Again, because most if you haven't noticed, most of society is brainwashed. Most people are under subtle forms of MK Ultra, to be quite frank, and that definitely includes the black woman. And the black woman has been told since get up, you come out of slavery and you're less than. You're treated like crap. You got to deal with the microaggressions. You got to deal with the program. You got to deal with the media. You got to deal with the music. You got to deal with all this shit coming at you. All of this content from the external self, the V2 from the external self, as we say in the Nakti philosophy, coming at you, trying to hit your prime conscious mind that will affect your reality, that will determine your state of consciousness. And we say, hold up. The divine feminine, we're alchemists. We're like, hold up. That's all garbage. I'm the goddess for one. I am the all. Okay, and so and with that being said, I'm going to program my own prime conscious as the divine feminine with things of the divine feminine, things of the primordial mother, the creator God, and I'm going to then alchemize that and create my own reality. And so that is what we are charged with in the age of divine feminine. And so, but there ain't nothing else that you don't get from anything that I said. Understand that we are transmuting bullshit that they got to say about the black woman, the degradation that the black woman has had to deal with, the debasement that the black woman has had to deal with, the programming, the media, all of that. We say no, we transmute, we take control of what we put in our prime conscious mind. What you guys call the subconscious mind, I call the prime conscious mind because it's connected to the higher self and the emotional body. It's not sub and it's not hidden. Because it determines, for one, it's influenced by the conscious mind's feedback loop between the conscious and the subconscious, or what I call prime conscious. It's a feedback loop. And so once you're in charge of programming that prime conscious yourself, then you're going to affect your reality. There's nothing hidden about it. And they tell you that it's beneath your unaware, you're unaware, what you focused on in your conscious mind is going to determine that. And so you could become very motherfucking aware of what's in your prime conscious, very much so. Who you deal with, who you fuck, what you pay attention to, what you read, what you listen to, what you look at, that's all going to affect your prime conscious. So you are completely in charge of programming your conscious mind. And that's what the Nakti philosophy is also about, by the way. Because I know a lot of people scrambling, to understand what that stuff means. Not a lot, but those, in the secret societies and some of these orders want to understand what the hell I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And so, back on topic, that is what becomes very important in the age of divine feminine. Black woman reprogramming her prime conscious mind to the things of the divine feminine, which is then going to affect her outside reality, and she's going to be able to manifest that will. We're trying to get us to that level. Okay, and if that's not what you're interested in, and you want to just do the femininity movement, knock yourself out. So the next thing is we're focusing on our divinity. That's another thing. In the age of divine feminine, we let go of the distractions. We are done with distractions. We don't let anybody outside of us that is external to us affect our reality. What's internal in us. We mind our business. We what they say, mind the business that pays you. And that's what I'm learning. We ain't trying to save the world. We ain't trying to be a sacrifice for nobody. We ain't trying to do nothing but focus on our own divinity. And when you focus on your own divinity and minding your motherfucking business, you grow. You ascend in consciousness. You ascend in soul power. And so that's another thing that the age of the divine feminine is promoting for the woman, is to focus on your divinity. Focus on yourself. Okay, stop trying to worry about, the black woman, she wants to go out and march on Selma. She wants to go out and march for her kangs and da-da-da-da-da. And them niggas, they ain't nowhere to be found. They the ones getting shot up, and then you out here marching and getting bullets in your ass, bullets in your head, and your sons laugh at you and da-da-da, just like baby girl Corinne Gaines. We saw what happened, what they said about Sandra Bland, loudmouth Sandra Bland, baby mama Corinne Gaines. Look how they degraded those women. And those women was out there loud and proud and ready to fight the system, and so what we tell the black women, if I was to talk to those beautiful sisters, and I'm not degrading these women, because these are women that I understand. I've been there. I'm still coming out of that consciousness of wanting to fight and all this black power, and black power almost killed my motherfucking ass. Okay. So, we have to pivot, and that was a learning lesson that I had to learn, and all of my female teachers had warned me about all of that. They all warned me, name your price, because they're gonna drag you through the ringer as a black woman with that black community stuff, with that black power, trying to be, sister soldier and all that stuff. I was warned by multiple black women, way older than me, some older than me, my mama, what was gonna happen. And it almost happened. I just caught it. Like, these motherfuckers was ready to, they was plotting to kill my ass, and it was black folks involved in it. And so, I had to deal with that shit. And so what I would tell Corinne Gaines and Sandra Bland is, baby girls, focus on yourself. Focus on your soul ascension while you here. You in the physical flesh. We in the third, fifth, seventh, sixth, seventh dimension. And some of us is beyond that, but we acting like, we here, we still come in the flesh or whatever to help, because we got bigger orders beyond race-based consciousness, beyond gender-based consciousness, beyond any isms, feminism, racism, that we got orders way beyond that for those who follow me. And so, whatever dimension you are in, if you have physical flesh, you're here for a reason. Whether you are in orders, whether you came here because you made some type of deal where you had to come here and be in the flesh, whatever it is, maybe you just wanted to come here to have some fun and fuck and be pretty. Some women literally come to planet Earth for that reason. Some people came here because they got orders from the head honcho. Some people is here because of their karmic debt and shit, whatever. Or they done took an oath and all that, they gotta come back and all that. Look, I ain't gonna say too much. But would say, while you're here, focus on your divinity. Focus on getting back to understanding that higher self, that prime conscious. Programming that prime conscious, because this is a world of illusions. This is a world where there's beauty here. There is beauty. So it's an arbitrary state, that I would say in this dimension. However, there's a system that has clobbered itself on prime reality, or Earth's reality, rather, Maya, Tiamat. So you have this Maya system placated on Tiamat system. These are two different systems, by the way. And that Maya system is the illusion based, the material, where it gets you sucked into the material, distracted from the soul. Or, how they call it the Dharma urge, and, it's the Gnostics would say. And so women, when you're here, all women, particularly this melanated woman, you got to see it for what it is. And you have to focus on your own divinity. And that doesn't mean, you have to be this holier than thou, thumping of religious texts or da-da-da-da. No, hell no. Your divinity means what's in your highest good, what's in your best interest. And anybody that tries to keep you from doing what's in your best interest, in your highest interest, for yourself, mind you, not trying to drag other people and try to solve you. They're evil. When we talk about this morality, good or bad, right or wrong, da-da-da-da, anybody that's keeping you from doing what you gotta do for yourself, for your higher self, that's what you could consider evil, because they living backwards. And so, you have to focus. Again, I can't stress enough. While we're here, we're focusing on our divinity, and that does not mean you gotta dress a certain way, put on a burqa. They don't mean none of that. You can't enjoy sex. You gotta be celibate. No, some women are gonna choose that. I'm more of I choose the middle path. Somewhat asceticism, somewhat left-hand path. I just do my own thing. I don't feel beholden to nobody. I'm a chaos intelligence expert. I'm an expert in chaos intelligence, because that is what the primordial mother is. Okay? And so for you, ladies, that's all you need to do is focus on what brings you joy, what brings you your highest good, what brings you your highest state of consciousness. And that's what you need to just go after in the age of the divine feminine. You know what that looks like. But my thing is, if you try to do it at the expense of other women or at the expense of other people, then that's when you can start messing up your reality, your prime reality, your prime consciousness. And you can actually be moving farther away from the higher self if you don't learn how to focus on your divinity outside of the expense of others. Because there is, in this system, where you can develop power and you can develop a godlike sense of consciousness. It's false. It's a delusion, but it's still, power based within this third dimensional realm through uh how do I say this, through harming other people, through sacrificing other women, through doing things at the expense of other women and children. And so in the age of the divine feminine, we are no longer honoring that system. We are no longer following that. That is something that was actually, I don't even want to get into that because we're going to get way into the occult, and I don't want to throw people off that don't have a history of those esoteric sciences, because that takes a lot of breaking down. So I won't get into it, but just know on a simple basis, as you're focusing on your divinity as women, you cannot try to do that at the expense of other women, and you cannot do that at the expense of other people. It's a way to do that, and there's a process of really focusing on yourself and making sure that you ascend, and that's the best way to do it. The next thing in the age of the divine feminine is self-awareness and self-development. We focus on that self-awareness because we understand that this is a transitory state that we are in. And we will venture off into other dimensions and other states of consciousness. And as we do that, we must maintain self-awareness at all times. One of the teachings that the primordial mother gave me, that is also in part of the tantric form of school of thought, rather, was that do the opposite of what the norm dictates, but with full awareness, with full consciousness. And so what does that mean? Do the opposite of what the norm dictates. You see the system. You see motherfuckers literally out of their mind. You saw everybody going to get the vacation. You saw everybody going to get the jibby jab, you know? Do the opposite of what the norm dictates. Remember, they was calling that the new normal. Do the opposite of what the norm dictates. Okay, these motherfuckers is out of their mind. They out here. And you could do that with anything. How many people is eating all types of processed foods and all types of stuff? Do the opposite of what the norm dictates. But do so with full awareness. Or you can even take it to another way of looking at that. Could be to remove moral turpitudes, to do all types of things that would be considered, deviant. And that is what the powers that be actually interpret that shit to mean. That was not what that meant. It always meant, again, we were aware that we was coming from a transcendent state into an illusory state where there was low governing force, free will on this planet. And we were very much aware that there were things already set up in place that were that would trap a person. That would trap a person in consciousness. I'll just say that. That would trap a person in consciousness. And so usually that was what the system dictated. And so that is literally what that verse meant. The opposite of what the norm dictate, but with full awareness, with full consciousness. And that could also mean, with society's hang-ups on sexuality, that could also mean explore your sexuality. That could also mean explore deeper thoughts of consciousness through psychedelics, whatever. I'm not a prude. I'm just saying what the initial, somebody who is a descendant of this of these teachings, as an oracle, that it was the initial teaching of what it meant, that we were very much aware of, set up here, that was trapping motherfuckers thousands of years, to be frank. And it was like we were telling people, do the normal, what the opposite, do the opposite of what the norm dictates, with full awareness. And so we always encourage that self-awareness for women. Self-awareness runs deep, and it's an ever-going process. You don't just reach the pinnacle and I've made it. You can descend real quick in consciousness. You can descend just from what you watch. I watch Jocelyn's Cabaret. Sometimes I have to be careful. Because it's like, oh shit, like I want to. I like the show because I like to see the girls dancing. I like to see. I like that shit. Then I'm looking at the reunion and I'm just seeing a bunch of, and I'm like, my mind can't handle that right now. I can't. It would descend me. Then I got to get myself back up there, and descend. You can descend just based on who you fuck. You fuck the wrong person, and you can mess up. You can mess up years of evolutionary work that you have done on yourself, fucking with a nigga that's a devil. That's completely whacked out of their mind. And you know what I'm talking about, ladies. You get with these niggas and they ain't no good. They got the good dick, and you still allow them to run up in you and raw at that. They come in you And the sperm travels up to the brain. Yes, it does. It travels up to the brain. It goes. Obviously it absorbs in the mucus because your insides is mucus based. It's membrane. It's membrane. So it's gonna absorb in your membrane, travel up to the brain. If not, literally fertilize your ass. And so you get programmed by nigga sperm. And so you get with a nigga that you just want good dick or whatever, and but you one of the ones that you start meditating, you start reading more things about the esoteric sciences, you start spending out more time in nature, eating health, you're trying to get your life together, and you did that for 3, 4, 5 years, and then Tyrone come, and he has no sense of God consciousness in him. He one of them ones, got a couple babies out, 1 or 2 baby mama. He working whatever, he do his thing whatever, but he just ain't on that level of consciousness. He's not even focused on consciousness. He's not even focused on higher awareness. He's not spiritual. You letting him run up in you raw. Next thing you know, stuff start happening. Finances start getting, you start slacking. You're not meditating as much. You're not doing these things as much. So you could really, so don't think, that this self-awareness is just, you hit it, boom, that's it. No, you have to maintain that shit. You got to maintain it. And a part of that awareness is realizing, okay, my vibration is getting lower. My vibration is getting higher. My vibration is the same. I'm not growing, or I am growing. That's a part of that self-awareness. Realizing when the moments where you want to emotionally eat, or the moments where you want to get an extra drink. That's a part of that process. And that's something that, it's like a daily battle. I won't say a battle. It's just a daily occurrence, rather. It's a daily occurrence. Sometimes it can feel like a battle, though, right? And so that self-awareness, ladies, how do you get that self-awareness? Through your meditation. Through that self-care. The healing baths. Healing spiritual water baths. With the herbs. Getting massages. Focusing on making sure that you feel good on the inside and on the outside, regardless of size, color, height, whatever. You want to make sure that you feel good on the inside and feel good on the outside. You want to make sure that you're handling your business, that you are honest and truthful with yourself about everything that there is to be honest and truthful about yourself about. Maybe you have horrific spending habits. Maybe you could be doing a little bit more but you're honest about it, and you take a step. One step at a time, one little small habit at a time to change it and say, you know what? Today I'll do, 10 more minutes of exercise. Today I'll do I'll take 5 minutes to rest and I'll take 5 minutes to read something. It don't have to be no big significant changes, but you develop in a habit. And after 30, 60, what they say, 62 days, 90, to give it 90 days. And you develop, you can even prolong that. And so you have to focus on some goals. When it comes to becoming more self-aware, you want to outline some mini goals that is attainable, that you can do, and that's going to create your ideal next frame. That's going to create your ideal next frame of your reality. Those small little mini goals. And it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something real. Or you push yourself. You could be, if you're more disciplined, you could, we're talking about for those who just want to form new habits, new manifestations, new goals. You have to have the manageable small task, and then you're going to build it up. And then after that, maybe after 90 days, you can prolong it. You can add the next mini goal. Because Rome wasn't built in a day. So when we're developing self-awareness, that self-awareness is what's the key to helping you manifest faster and manifest your prime reality quicker, your IPU, your ideal parallel universe, right? And so that's one of the keys in the age of divine feminine. We're going to really be focused. We were always, even in the age of Pisces, they claimed they were trying to teach about self-awareness, but they buried all the text that gave you the keys, buried all of the code, made everything. You had to join some weird ass order that you had to take a pack with and all that stuff in order to get the knowledge on it. Then them days are none. That was never supposed to be like that on this dimension any fucking ways. So self-awareness and development is key. Another thing in the age of the divine feminine for the Black woman is she's not seeking the approval or validation of society or of men. She's becoming self-aware. Now she understands, what it means to work on herself, what it means to take a critique, what it means to take constructive feedback, because she's honest and she know that let's be real, a lot of the black women's, they be out here doing some sherm shit too. We always talk about the black men and black man did this, black man ain't this, and he did we give the whole rundown on them for and they do the same to us. They do it a lot worse. But we understand as women, a part of that self-awareness is accountability. But we're not about to be, y'all not about to take no pitchfork. Because any little thing the black women do, here they come with a pitchfork ready to knock her head off. But all the society get a pass. All the rest of society gets a pass and understanding. And we got to understand the system. We got to understand what he deals with. We got to understand. When it comes to the black woman, she didn't get no grace. She didn't get no compassion. Them days changing. In the age of the divine feminine. Have those days change for her. And so we realize, okay, we understand constructive feedback. We understand we're going to work on our things collectively as women. Sure we will. Sure we'll take accountability. But we do not need the approval or the validation of society. No, because we're operating from the divine feminine, prime reality, prime conscious. Bitch, we already God. Look, I already know I'm gonna lose the Bible thumpers, and that's okay because I'm an ordained minister, and guess what? I am actually going to be breaking down many of the deep spiritual teachings of Yeshua, as well as in the original what you call it, you guys call it the Bible. Well, we're gonna be breaking it down because it's like that's another thing that the black woman needs to understand. She's so attached to that Bible because she knows that there's some codes in there, but ain't nobody really following the codes. I don't even think nobody even knows the codes. So I'm like, obviously, many of us also have bloodline relations to that book. But some of that stuff is like we're related to the people some of the motherfuckers that had something to do with putting that together. And so I understand the attachment to it, so I don't knock it. But I'm going to be going in on some of those intergalactic mentalism teachings. That is a psychology book. It's a deep-ass book. And we're going to break down some of those. We're going to break it down, boy. We've been talking about self-awareness and quantum superpositioning and quantum jumping. All of this in there. It's all there. Oh, yeah. It's all there in the Bible. It's just like it's all in other religions. It's all there. But we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be breaking all of that down on the Nike Church of the Higher Self, because I'm not going to mix the two with the education over here with more of the scholarship. But again, with that not needing of the approval or the validation, we understand, we're building our confidence. We're not going to be arrogant, but we're certainly building the confidence of women again. So many times we see this black woman acting like, we see the butt shot injection thing where every woman wanted to go get the butt, what's it called? Butt injection, butt BBL. Every woman wants to go and do the 26, 30 inch weave in her fucking head. With broom eyelashes, looking crazy. But she doesn't realize she didn't need none of that. She didn't need half of what she thinks she needs. She covers her beauty with all this nonsense. She's covering her beauty with these big ass lashes on her head, with this big ass 27-inch blonde wig on her head. The black woman is putting these things on her, not realizing and when she takes all that stuff off, and you be like, damn, you look 1,000 times better. Why can't you see that? Why don't you know that? And so it's it's external programming, but she's been lied to, and now she's thinking, okay, I need this validation and this validation because society doesn't validate her. So now she wants to put on a blonde fucking wig. She wants to put on big BBL. And so we have to validate ourselves, ladies. We have to validate each other for one. After this shit wouldn't be going on if you women didn't try to always want to one-up each other and compete with one another. If you would just recognize the beauty in one another, because you recognize the beauty in yourself. Many of these issues that you see, with the light skin, with the dark skin, and curly hair, nappy hair, all this stuff. Women is doing all of that with each other, for sure. Half of that is, the men, the black man, he definitely has a role in all this nonsense. I'm not saying he don't, and men in general. All men have a role in this bullshit. But If you said no, as the divine feminine said no, you're not about to, as men, you're not about to get us fighting one another. Hell no. Because what do they do when you try to get them to fight against you? They say, y'all, we bros over hoes. We don't need to be fighting over no woman. We need to come together as men. And they do that. But when it's the women, you guys going straight cat mode. Competition did, and it wasn't always like that for melanated women. No, it was not. Hell no. Study the Queen Mothership. And I always talk about the Queen Mothership, wrote books on it, all types of stuff. That's really what we was at. Because we did walk around just like how, you know, Bonobo Monkey walk around. You know, how even if you study like the Elephant Kingdom. Elephant queendom rather, because they're matriarchal, or whales and dolphins with high consciousness, high level intelligence. That's how women, that is how melanated women used to act, by the way. That is how we used to treat one another. We always looked at, okay, for the young girls coming up, we always gave them game, we always wanted to help them. We didn't see, oh, we gotta compete with each other for men. No, we never viewed it like that. We just didn't have that level of jealousy, that primal jealousy that developed with the homunculus women, at the experimentations that the black men made when they was gene splicing and genetically experimenting with black women. They did create life-size fucking homunculus by gene altering them to placate some of that high level intelligence, that high level sophistication that black women had. Oh, our sons was like, oh shit, we gotta get it. How do we kind of manipulate this shit? Like, I don't need to, because we want them to kind of be a little submissive. All the other women that's submissive, our women are not like this. They was never like that. Whether you in the Americas or in Africa, it was always matriarchal. And so it was like, well, gene splice they ass so we can have patriarchy. You see the experiment, and it obviously working with these foreigners, and you see how all this stuff played out, by the way. Since the overthrow of the Queen Mothership. But yeah, all of that, we never saw women, we never saw each other as somebody to take out, to go zero sum, release the Kraken on other women. Like, that shit is so fucking weird. And so half of that, could be reduced as black women, as far as a lot of the bullshit that we deal with in the Maya matrix system. Is if we validate one another. Stop holding each other to ridiculous standards. Stop critiquing each other. You guys internalize so much self-hatred. You ready yourself to take out the pitchfork against your own kind every chance you get. Anytime a nigga put a battery in your back, anytime there's some dick involved, you act like you don't got no good sense anymore. Like you can't stay on code anytime a dick come around. And you see the consequences of being male identified in your own community. And that's the punishment for going against the primordial mothers and the gods, the ancient ones. And some of them are from our order. We're male and females, as far as like, I don't think it's just all female archetypes. No, we have males that was with this order before it was overthrown. And so it's like, look at y'all now. Look at melanated people globally now. When y'all wanted to overthrow the system and go for other systems. Work with other people that's not of the bloodline. It is what it is. But another thing is with the divine feminine. Obviously, we're tending to the self-care on the outside and the inside. And that's where femininity movement and the divine feminine converge. That's where, there's some similarities, because we all want to put our best foot forward while we're in this meat suit, and that goes for me. It's like, okay, we want to feel beautiful, and so we want to partake in the things that make us feel so beautiful as women. That's going to be different for everyone. Not everybody's going to wear fucking makeup and fucking lipstick and weaves and stuff. I love makeup. I do hair. I do all types of stuff, but for some other women's, it's not going to be that way. Other things are going to make them feel beautiful. Some things like, they have some women are into the prepping community, the off-grid prepping community. And they like to work with microgreens outside and garden outside, That makes them feel beautiful. That makes them feel matronly. That makes them feel like they're connecting to Mother Earth and Mother Gaia. And so there's room for that. It's not going to look one way. Some women, they want to paint. That makes them feel beautiful. If they're painting, they're getting their art out. and that's a thing of beauty for them. And so we don't want to get into the thing where if you want to attract this, if you want to attract this kind of man, and you want to do this, you got to do this. It's going to be different for everybody. You want to stay true to yourself at all times, and that's going to allow you to attract whatever on your fucking frequency. If you being your ultimate true self, and your ultimate, and it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It's not even about being perfect. You're going to attract what's on that frequency. But when you try to fit in another person's box or another person's silo subconsciousness, or you want to placate another person's ego or system, or, you know, they told me he don't like natural hair. They don't like natural hair. That means I gotta perm my hair, do this. Men don't like women without ass, so that means I gotta go put the butt injection in. And then look what happens, you know? You look at the situation with Cardi B, and she talks about her ass shots, and Blac Chyna removing her ass shots, and if you saw the girls that had to get their whole ass cut off because of these butt shots. You know what I mean? And so that's a part of, you know, part of that feeling beautiful, being beautiful. It's remembering that self-awareness, remembering not to do things from the sense of validation of men. It's just being more in tune with the authentic self. What really makes you happy, what really makes you feel beautiful. Only you know what that is. Now, if that's your money maker, like some of the girls, you know, they call girls, you know, they escorts, whatever. And if that's what's gonna make you the money to go and get the BBL, and, you know, subtle BBL and breast implant, and that's gonna bring you in more dough, and you know how to transmute that energy from your clients, whatever. I'm not judging that. That is not my thing to do. Okay, and so that's one thing. That's one aspect of it, though. But I'm not necessarily comparing that to, like, you know, what the average girls are out here doing. You know, you got surgeons and you got nurses that want BBLs and shit. Like, the fuck. But whatever, you know. If that truly makes you feel beautiful, I don't see how. But if that truly makes you feel beautiful, then go ahead and knock yourself out. But what I'm saying is, if you're digging deeper into your prime conscious, into your inner soul, I really do think that you will realize, I think I did this for validation of society. I think I did this without proper self-awareness. But really, what makes me feel beautiful is when I'm planting a certain type of plant. Really, what makes me feel beautiful is when I am painting. Like, with me personally, what makes me feel beautiful is aromatherapy. I love spiritual cleansing bath, and I love to learn about various. With me, it's like, what makes me feel solid and amazing is when I learn the teachings of other women that are brilliant, that I respect. And usually that's just from reading, you know, esoteric texts and knowledge, you know. Also, what makes me feel very, 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 very beautiful is crystals. I like crystals. Like, I like different types of crystals: rose quartz and shungite and tourmaline and hematite and aventurine and citrine, and I mean, you name it. I probably have some experience with it on some level. Lemurian quartz is one of my favorites, but that makes me feel beautiful. Lemurian quartz with the lapis, and I want to get some turquoise, but the Super 7, Tiger's Eye, Malachite. I mean, you name it. I love it, you know. Amethyst is one of my favorites as well. But that makes me feel, like, beautiful. And so, you know, other people are like, what? But who gives a fuck, right? Because it's about me. I have to go to sleep at night. You gotta go. You're the one that gotta wake up and look in that mirror. And you gotta love yourself. And you have to. And even if you're having some difficulties with self-esteem, like I have issues with self-esteem. We're working on it daily. It's a daily journey. Okay, and so the melanated notions of femininity. It's powerhouse, man. It's packed with so much data from the universe, from the cosmos. And that's something that the Black woman must understand. She got to get out of everything that society has tried to tell her, how they have perverted her femininity, how they remove her from her history. She don't even understand her own age. She don't understand that she had a queen mothership. She doesn't understand how the if she's, whether you're American Indian or you're African. She doesn't understand her own ancient matriarchies, whether they were, regardless of the landmass. She doesn't understand the ancient teachings of these oracles and these symbols that give us the game that really is behind a lot of the stuff in the Bible. And how, even they try to play Miriam Magdalene, who's a descendant of the dragon riders. She was also an esoteric teacher. That's why Jesus got with her. They both descendants of dragon riders. They're both of it's so deep. They're both descendants of a dimension that was sent here to elevate humanity. So part of that is Atlantean DNA that has a bit of the it's a different. When we say reptilian, and people gonna think the reptilians, that the inorganic reptilians. No, there's different species of reptilians, by the way, and they are descendants of the dragon riders. And so she was very much on game as far as highly spiritual. That's why her and Jesus was astral projecting and going to different dimensions and visiting parallel universes and quantum tunneling and all that shit. It's in the text, not maybe because you got to figure there were 44 books moved out of the Bible. But if you get your hands on some of the original texts and some of this Gnostic text, you're going to see it yourself. You're going to see that the stuff they was into, how Jesus certainly was killed because he was mixing, for one, he was a master mason by bloodline, by the way. He went to mystery schools in India, went to mystery schools in Egypt. It was just chaos intelligence, because we're from the order of the divine feminine. We come from a different school of thought. And so he come in mixing the intergalactic mentalism, which is combining a lot of the Vedic and Kabbalah. He come in running his mouth, and the secret society say, "Oh, we got to get this motherfucker out of here." And the ones that really run this system, like some of the fallen angels. It gets deep. And I know you guys don't know all this information, but yeah. So he doing these teachings, talking in parables and stuff. It's some really deep stuff. It's some really deep stuff that he was talking about. And he had Mary with him for that reason. He had Miriam with him. And remember when he, in the book of Thomas, there's another book too where he told the disciples, I'm leaving it, you guys follow her once I go. That she's going to be the leader. And they all had a fit, and so yeah, it gets deep. And so that's for so you ladies that's into the Christianity, that's some stuff for your ass, right? It's like, what, quantum tunneling and oh, what? But yeah, it's deep. And so she has to understand all the things that's been hidden about her for those reasons. The melanated woman has to understand all these things that have been hidden from her to keep her from her true self, which is that this primordial chaos intelligence that has ruled the planet for millennia, and it was overthrown. That is a microcosm of the entire universe. A microcosm completely of the entire universe. And so this is what the melanated woman has to get back to. He is not a mule. She is not a mammy. She is not gutter. She is not just to be used for sex. She is not used just to be a baby mama, a single mother. She's not none of that. She's a supreme intelligence. She is primordial intelligence. And that's what she needs to understand. Now, I know that may be a lot like, oh no, I don't want to be all that. I just want to rest in femininity, as you guys say. Rest in femininity and have the man, da-da-da-da-da. There's space for that too. There's actually space for that, because that's why we created them niggas anyways, if we want to be quite frank. They were a vanity project. And they were always like resentful. That's why you see like, why is so much why black men don't really care for black women? That resentment is still there. And it's like, what did we do? Like we thought, we created you as a vanity project. We thought you were a thing of beauty, and you just completely flipped the script on me, like, because it's like, no matter what, they'll never be able to get access to that final, to that level of they were not, and I know for those that follow these religious texts, and they backwards, these texts they have outright, how do I say this? These texts have been redacted, they've been manipulated, but they are very, very angry, very, very upset that they will never be able to have full control over some people say the water dome, but the primordial cosmic ocean. But that's not even the right way to explain it. I would say that primordial chaos power, fusion power. But it's not just fusion power. It's a mixture between fusion power, chaos intelligence, resonance, and water. So it's high level. It's the spark that creates galaxies, to be quite frank, destroys them. And so the melanated woman, the melanated gods that are female, the melanated gods, the Kalimas and the Sekhmets and the Hathors and the Oyas and the Oshuns and the Durgas and the Hecate. You know, they say Hecate is Greek. She's not. Those energies, the Zilidantors, that energy is like, because we created the males, and it's like, we created you, so we invert, pull your ovaries out of your body and create a penis, and and so they are very upset at us because it's like, well, why didn't you make us on par? Why can't you give us that knowledge, that the keys to that access to that power? And it's like, no, nigga, we ain't crazy. We know you know that's like, humans create artificial intelligence. And I'm not saying men are artificial intelligence, because they're not artificial intelligence. But that's like the humans create artificial intelligence, and they don't give no kill switch. They don't have no they control, at least to do a little bit of something. And then artificial intelligence does it. And that's actually a bad comparison, because we let them get away with a lot, and we could have, and many times, stop the things that men are doing to women on this planet. But we let things work as a potentiator, especially on free will planets, free will dimensions. They have to play itself out as a potentiator. You have to evolve your consciousness. And so that contrast is the potentiator. The duality is the potentiator. And if that requires that learning lesson period, that ability to become self-aware. So we'll give you the information, give you all types of information that you can find. Like, you could just, if you really want to enlighten yourself, you can honestly enlighten yourself through with very little means, with some of the material that we have on this planet, but you guys been distracted, manipulated, or you simply don't know. And we could have, at a drop of a switch, just say, okay, what are these men doing? But on a free will planet, in a dualistic planet where one can take charge, or anybody could, create their own prime reality, or anybody can become enlightened, you have to let those things play out. And once it's time to clamp down with justice, and clamp down with the get down, or when it's time to return, because sometimes you have to travel here through interdimensional galactic travel, through consciousness, through quantum entanglement, through quantum tunneling. And so it will take some time to do that, because you got to find the right vessels, you got to find the right ship, you got to find the right portals, right? And so, but then sometimes on what you motherfuckers was doing on this planet, on planet Earth, was hiding portals and trying to manipulate stuff and block stuff, and so we had to deal with all of that. And so now it's a new day. It's the age of the divine feminine. Okay, and so in closing, what are the main differences? With the femininity movement, you'll see, how it seeks to mirror those Western notions of what it means to be feminine, and so Black women have to contend with that. She thinks, she put the blonde head wig on, blue contacts on. Bullshit. you know. And so we're telling the black woman in the age of divine feminine is to understand that primordial chaos intelligence. I would do a whole video on chaos intelligence because that is what the woman is. Okay. And I have to break that down. I have to break that down because we gotta go, it's like, oh, you're talking about the dark stuff or whatever, and it's not. And so we'll break that down. And again, take everything I said, and just expound on it. You can do more research on it, and you don't have to obviously just blindly believe what anybody says, right? But these are things that are important for the melanated woman. Self-awareness, that goes for any damn human. Self-awareness and balance and harmony, that's any species can benefit from that. But in the age of divine feminine, it's going to be really ushered in from the top down. Another thing that I want to talk about is, the femininity movement, it lacks the mercenary aspects of the divine feminine. And it doesn't talk about the aspects of chaos intelligence, of how women are very much strategic. Women are very much cunning. And if you guys watch this show, I watched this show called Survivor. I've been watching many seasons of it. Most of the seasons, some of the, like the earlier seasons, I was like way too young, so I didn't get to see it. So I'm just now catching up with them. But if you watch Survivor and you study the women, really study the women on Survivor, and you particularly if you study the differences between that white woman and that black woman on Survivor. And Survivor is one of the biggest social experiments of human behavior, big sociology experiment for human behavior to really understand a species, the human species. And so when I be watching Survivor and I look at the women and I say, there's such a difference because you see these white women on there and they're very mercenary. They're very strategic. Like I was watching I want to say it was season 21 with Brenda, right? And this is an old season, by the way. It's mad old. But you see Brenda and Nyanka. Nyanka's black, And I'm studying these women and you see similarities, but you see big differences. And one of the differences is that Brenda and other women, they hide what black women just naturally exude. They hide that chaos intelligence. They'll hide that energy. Like Brenda, that's why Brenda and Nyanka, they got along. And Brenda, you saw she was plotting and everything was a plot and a strategy. And Nyanka was just up front with it. Take that leg and push you off the back. I don't like you. I don't like what you said. I don't like how you did it. And then you'll see the other women, they won't say it out loud, but they'll say it, in the confessions. I didn't like it. They'll be real. And it's like, I'm noticing, I'm like, other women hide that aspect of themselves. And black women, they just out with it. And we take such a bad hit for that. If we take such a bad hit, but it's like, then they try to say, see, that's why I gotta go to these other women. But it's like, the other women are exactly the same. Oh my gosh. And Survivor really shows that. If not worse. Because like, those women, they'll be strategizing and oh man, I'm like, But that is actually a part of the divine feminine. It's a mercenary aspect of survival, of strategy, of understanding high-level military science, believe it or not. Women are very good with that stuff. And so if you guys could even watch, even the last season of Survivor where they had the lady named Carolina, she was a white woman. And she was the embodiment of chaos intelligence, of how that looks like when a woman can maneuver through randomness, through emotions, through intuition, and get to the end. So that's an example if you guys are curious, like, well, what does that look like? There's so many examples of what that looks like, there's so many examples of, you'll see, because it can also look like, it can also go a little haywire too if it's a very powerful energy to work with. It's a very, very, very powerful energy. And so it can go haywire as well. And so Azalea Banks is another one with chaos intelligence, but shoots her, just self-sabotages or, just goes a little off the deep end. But you'll see that chaos intelligence where it's this random, but it's ordered. And that's why, if you notice, the males, they try to mimic what the females try to do their little thing for players that be, with the order out of chaos stuff. They try to mimic chaos intelligence, but we create order. We can create order out of chaos. They're trying to mimic what women naturally do, by the way, and that's chaos intelligence. And it's the way the universe works. But you don't purposely create chaos. And so that's another thing that the Brotherhood fucked up. You don't purposely create chaos and then find your way to get order. That's a natural state of being for women. It's a code of fusion power, again, that resonance fusion power, in the primordial waters. It's a substance, it's a key that men can't get access to because we created them as like our vanity babies, or like, some see them as babies, some see them as creatures that brings pleasure, creatures of beauty. Some see them as equal, some see them as superior. Some of you women literally see men as superior. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But whatever. But so my outlook on, me as the archetype that I am, like, it's like, wow, that the level of power that I have, it's like, there's no way I would, with the knowledge that I know, not even just the knowledge, the wisdom, the gnosis, the intuition, the downloads from gods. I see men as a vanity project that bring pleasure, that bring functional benefits to society, obviously, that have a functionalism within society. So I'm not here to bash men or anything, or to say that they're not needed. They're not. No, if you watch Survivor, the show Survivor, you will see why they're needed. Especially when they did the girls versus boys season. It's like, did you see the difference in the shelter building? But you also can see how some of the women, they act like deers in headlights, but you get a particular woman, like for instance, on that particular season, there was a Dina, and she came in there and was just like, with her leadership ability to get shit done. You always have women like that. That's for the difference between the crone mothers, the maidens, it was the maiden, the crone mother, and I forgot the other one. I think it was just mother. I forgot the one in the middle. But then you have the differences, not just between the crone mothers and the maidens, but then the oracles and the queen mothers. Okay, the queen mothers really run society. Okay, but not everybody is a queen mother. Not everybody not every woman is a queen mother. Not every woman is even interested in that shit. You got some women that they like to use their beauty and just get money that and just have men take care of them through their beauty. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's some women that are just so fucking intelligent, that they're so intelligent, they're so brilliant that they should be running the whole show. And so, the age of divine feminine, we are in tune with the dark and divine feminine. We are in tune with our mercenary side. We understand. Part of understanding chaos intelligence is understanding the aspects of the qualities that you ascend and evolve from. So we understand it. We don't stay there in our lower selves, but we certainly are aware of it. Okay, and so we understand the mercenary aspects, and what does that look like in terms of ethics and when we go back into power, because women will be running society. You will have female presidents. You will have female presidents in all continents, and you're going to see melanated women even coming to the forefront, because the white woman's going to take some leadership abilities from the black woman. Through just, you're going to see the change of guard coming, and you're going to see the Asian woman, and you're going to see women in positions of power on all continents, more than 7 continents, by the way, but in all continents, you're going to see women come in power. And so we have to understand, okay, we understand our mercenary aspects of running society, but we have to always maintain our ethics. We have to always maintain our fairness. We can't and we're good with that. We're good with that. And men ain't gotta worry about nothing. We gotta worry about, they're trying to be, they're gonna rule us, they're gonna punish us, they're gonna do no. There's gonna be fairness, there's gonna be balance. Okay? And everybody's gonna get their act together. Okay? And so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, the women's making and begging me. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be feminism. Oh, y'all kill me with that. Oh, you niggas. With this feminism crap. It's like, get a hold of yourself and study your own damn history for once. Study your queen mothership. Especially if you melanated talking like that. If you're melanated, especially if you're a descendant of the dragon riders, you have Jew blood. Some of you have, some of you black, we call it quote unquote black, but you melanated, black indigenous, melanated Africans. Some of you have Jew blood, Jew. How dare, how could you ever fix your mouth to even come against the divine feminine, the women? It's like, what are you not studying? And you see what these Hebrew Israelites is out here, they are out of pocket. I'm like, what in the world? How did you interpret our text like that? What did you do? What did you do with our teachings? What did y'all do? And so if you're a descendant of the dragon riders, if you're descendant, even if you're not, maybe you're a mixture, but you got more of a descendant of the Tahuti bloodline. Even still, he was a part of our order. Like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing to women? Like, what the fuck? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Even if you go with, I ain't even gonna go there. Even if you into the African spirituality, again, with the Ifa, the study of those original origins, those primal origins of Ifa, totally of the divine feminine, totally, only of Ife and the Oduduwa and all that, the glory of the womb and all this stuff. Come on, it's in African teachings. It's in Black indigenous teachings. It's in the. It's just everything is a mess. Everything is a mess, and it just pisses me off. But it is what it is. And so, another aspect of the age of divine feminine, and when we talk about the mercenary and the dark divine feminine, is the strategy to self-preservation. But we also emphasizing sisterhood. Okay, so we're emphasizing sisterhood, and we're emphasizing not being in competition with one another, but really understanding and having whole mechanisms and communities that are women identified. That doesn't mean men cannot be involved, but we're having, like the Queen Mothership, like the Queen Mothership community, intentional communities, that is very female identified for the Black woman. Now, it doesn't mean that we just kick the men out. Men are absolutely allowed in the Queen Mothership, but there's mechanisms in place for baby girls, women, Black children, okay, where they can thrive, where they can feel safe, where they have control mechanisms on the top of the governance in place to where you can't abuse women, you can't abuse children, you can't have all this drama, the dysfunction like you see in the Black community, all that dysfunction, all that, and they can never say that I never produced nothing for them. That Queen Mothership book, the Enterprise Architecture Guide for Rebuilding Black America, whatever, that shit almost got me killed. That book, and 100 years from now, 200, they gonna be like, this lady laid out all this shit and these niggas didn't follow nothing. Whole governance levels of infrastructure that has not been seen in 2,000 years, and these niggas still run around with like chickens with their heads cut off. And with me, it's like I don't know, like it's like people fight to stay at the bottom, and so I can't understand it, and that's why I had to just kind of pivot from that, because I'm like, I can't understand. I just can't understand the male identified aspect of the Black community, and I can't take the downtrodden, the residual consciousness of slave consciousness. I can't understand that. And I don't. I'm one that put it all on the line. I've produced the content for Black America. I produce education and materials for them, for not just on a logistic level, on a governmental level, on a governance level, but on a level of enlightenment, on a level of transcendence. And I'm like, the way they did me, I'm good. I'm good. But history will show. Like, it was out there. She was right there in front of you. It was right there in front of you. And when I see, because it didn't come from a man, or because because it's a brown skinned woman, or it's me, or any women. And the way our community it's just I can't understand it. I can't understand, and I don't understand the mindset of fighting to be at the bottom, or looking for that externalized savior. And I understand getting justice and holding a system accountable and all that, but like when you want to mesh in with that system, or sell your soul to mesh in with that system, and then thinking you about to get freedom and liberation, working with a corrupt system, doing things the corrupt way, particularly the reparations and all that shit. No, I can't rock with that shit. God ain't in that. Spirit ain't in that. And you need that energy that you need to propel yourself forward. It's not going to be there. It's not there. It's not there, and it's not going to be there. Especially if you got to try to go and degrade the women in that movement, or literally try to set motherfuckers up and sacrifice motherfuckers and all that, with that letting the gatekeepers infiltrate grassroots movements and shit. Like, nah, I'm off of that. So good luck. But the information is there. But you'll see women come up with all types of governance mechanisms, all types of things. And that's Queen Mothership was one of them. The Queen Mothership enterprise architecture was certainly one of them. And in a dimension, and in a in certain dimensions, that governance is already active, and so it's nothing. And so planet Earth has to catch up. Planet Earth is very behind. And so that's what I'll end with. Again, remember, the divine feminine is doing that alchemy. It's focused on the divinity. It's focused on that self-awareness. It's focused on not needing approval or validation from society. But at the same time, still understanding accountability. Still need to do self-care on the inside and the outside. We don't operate from the placating the male ego. We go deep and do the inner work. We do some serious working of programming our prime conscious mind, of undoing everything that the system has tried to do to break the black woman. Okay? Because there is black woman buck breaking, all types of stuff, things that we had to go through, And so the age of divine feminine is there to correct all that. No more. We say no more. And in terms of the femininity movement, you guys want to go into that to focus more on the luxury of the beauty of black women. The beauty, soft life. Nothing wrong with that. Soft life all day. Chill out in the sun. Get your nice little vitamin D. Get your crystals, do your hair, do your makeup, go out, whatever. Chill. I'm a homebody. I feel more comfortable creating like tabernacles at home. Will you? I'll be having it blazed. It be blazed wherever I'm at. Like, we talking about spiritually, it should be blazed because I'm a priestess, And so that's what makes me feel comfortable in my skin. But we have different callings and different levels of awareness, and that's fine. And so I encourage every woman to follow her path, follow her way, her own gnosis, her own chaos intelligence. And so stay tuned for the next video. The next video, we're actually going to be talking about dating prospects and broadening the horizons of the black woman. And we are going to talk a little bit about the divestment movement. And again, I don't want to come at people with negativity. That's not what we about. And so we just want to always supplement and sublimate information for the melanated woman in the age of the divine feminine. So the age of the divine feminine, we are going to talk about logistics of dating for this black woman, and we are going to get deep into things. I might cover the childless by choice. I think I'm going to make that its own video, because this thing, this obsession, we're going into the age of divine feminine, and, these niggas is getting so worried about, the empowerment of women, and they're like obsessing over our reproductive issues and not issues, but our reproductive capacities and even rights, and it's like, it's creepy. And so it's like, I want to talk about that as well. But, we'll talk about that for women. We'll talk about what does it mean to be childless by choice? What does it mean to actually want a baby? Like, there's some women. I was just talking with one of my clients, and she's like, I want a baby so bad. I want a baby, and now she's trying to manifest a man, and she's trying to manifest marriage, and I want the best for her, of course, and it's the things that she wants. And so we'll talk about that as well. Again, ladies, Divine Feminine, Age of Divine Feminine, Part 3. We broke some of the things down that we are charged with in this time, self-awareness and whatnot. And so, ladies, remember to always focus on your divinity and focus on yourself and focus on that inner love, okay? And so I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Are you ready for a mesmerizing linguistic journey? Step into the enchanting world of Tut language, an invaluable part of Black American heritage. Delve deep into this unique language where every word resonates with the rhythm of a resilient culture. Explore thoughtfully designed lessons that unravel the linguistic intricacies of Tut, from pronunciation variations to regional influences. Engage in interactive language games like word matching and pronunciation challenges that will deepen your understanding and sharpen your skills. Dive into live Tut bingo, historical and cultural role-play scenarios, and weekly open mic sessions featuring Tut music and poetry. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to celebrate culture and embrace language. Enroll now and start your Tut language adventure. Enroll now and receive 3 free Tut language books, thoughtfully created by colleague J.N.S. It's an invaluable addition to your learning experience.